Yeah, welcome. I'm here. It's all good. We're good to go,
Worked.
and we have the picks and buns already. So this could be the beginning of a very long day, Joe.
This is the beginning of a very long day. I think is more, more the point. We're up early on a Saturday morning. That is not something that usually happens in my world. But whatever, that's all good stuff. So mTw versus nFaculty. Of course, nFaculty, the former homeless team, and thanks to nFaculty, they are no more homeless. I guess, which is, it's never a good thing being homeless, whichever way you look at it, I suppose, for that one. So first bans actually coming out here, and mTw banning out Twitch, which is no surprise if you saw the quarterfinals, which you had with Homeless, where they, I've got my notes here somewhere, actually, they're on a different piece of paper.
Well,
Yes,
the Twitch
somewhere.
got fed basically early kills, didn't it? And it was just like snowball from then on. It was not pleasant. But I'm trying to think who they beat. It was it gamed? Was it something like that? Was it gamed? I'd have to have a look back.
ESC, it was the final game of Homeless. ESC
yes.
was the Twitch there. That's why I keep pieces of paper all over the studio. I tell my bosses I need them. It looks like I'm just too lazy to clean them up. But actually, it all has a purpose. So Twitch, Corky, Vladimir, the three out there. Ergot, Rise, and Cogmore out for nFaculty. And first pick's already in there for mTw as well. Shen, no real surprise team going in. Just to kind of break things down here in terms of which patch we're on. I didn't notice the fact that we patched, but Lulu seems to be in there.
That was already in there from the previous one. We were on the Lulu patch before.
Oh, we were.
We're
I
not
was
on
just
the
confused by
Hecarian
the
patch.
fact that the tournament realm was called Nautilus.
Yeah, confusing you.
It
But
threw me
we've
off.
not got Hecarium in here, so it's not. We're not going to see the big crazy big horse running through. But although I don't think I've really seen him played much in tournaments either. But like you say, the first pick's coming out. Shen was the first pick. They did actually toy with the thought of someone else, but they did switch to it at the end there. You can see. Sarakabot is in this game, will not be playing Soraka, so don't get confused. This is going to confuse you guys. It confuses us as well, but it's going to be Soraka, and you can see that I can never get his name right. It basically means dog paw, doesn't it, in English? Pfotchen. It was basically, he's the guy that substituted for Team Curse at the IEM World Finals, the World Championships. He was the top laner when all sorts of problems occurred, and Sidco missed his plane, which I don't know how you do that, but that's how you do. You're going to the World Finals. Oh, damn! I missed my plane. These things happen. Janna and Odir also picked up by mTw. I got to be honest, for my favourites in this one is going to be nFaculty, because they really impressed me. They did in that the quarterfinals. We're going to have Kassadin possibly locked in here alongside Graves. Now, if anybody watched the Korean matches the other day where Fnatic got absolutely destroyed by a Kassadin, I think he had 800 plus AP at the end of it. It was just sick. He literally popped people. But they've switched it, unfortunately, to Olaf. So Olaf's going to be along that top lane. So, he could be jungler, but I'm guessing he's going to be the top lane Olaf, Joe.
Yeah, I'd say that's the same as well, with Mundo already in there as well. So, final two picks for mTw. Got that Shen in there, and Udyr as well. Janna, of course, 4 down in this bottom lane, and Akali. This is interesting whether they stick with that Akali. I'd be kind of surprised, to be quite honest with you. Misfortune is more likely to stick in there, obviously, for this bottom lane, but will they go with Akali? I really don't see that happening. I mean, if I remember rightly, mTw had an awesome Morgana player in their lineup. I forget who it was. Huyu, I think, maybe that plays that AP carry mid role. But yeah, we'll figure that one out. But yeah, it's not going to be Akali. Not really a surprise. It's going to be Anivia Misfortune.
Well, and that's a wise pick, because if you go by Froggen's AP mid pick, you've got which counters what. And according to him, he's got nothing that counters Anivia. So they didn't really know who was going to be the mid laner. Oh, and it could be Fiora. Remember, we did see Fiora before in the middle lane, I might have been a game I did with Panky, but it was absolutely phenomenal. It worked really well. It was going to struggle early on until you get the higher levels, but it actually works very well when you get to the team game. But the problem is that's a very AD heavy team they've got there. You've got to assume that they need an AP of something in there. Yeah, there you go. They're going to have to switch it to Ari. Ari would work very well against Nivea. He's got that quick dash speed. Obviously, Nivea known as really one of the slowest champions in the game at the moment, but can be easily controlled by a top player. But I think Ari would be a wise choice for that mid lane. Like I said, it would have given them very heavy AD champions. So wisely switching it out. So there, your teams of picks. Like I mentioned, I think nFac could take this one. They certainly were very strong as homeless when we saw them in the quarterfinals. Really impressed me, actually. Considering they'd come through, I think they'd snuck through as like 8th or 9th, hadn't they, in the qualifier because of the issues that had occurred?
Yeah, they pretty much got through by the skin of the teeth from that one. I had the groups here somewhere. I did link them, by the way. If you're on Reddit, then you can probably see that post there. It is up there at the top now. But yeah, nFac came through in 6th position, which was the final position to get through into the playoffs. That was all down to like the last play day, and actually 4th, 5th, and 6th place all were tied on 15 points. So, all ended 5 wins, 4 losses, so real close. And then Alternate, who were the last season champions, finished just behind them with 4 wins, 5 losses. I wanted to just bring up here the playoff tree so everyone can have a look at that and see exactly how it looks. And I will post this in the Twitch TV chat in just a second. But obviously, Logix and mTw as 1st and 2nd. They got themselves straight through into this semi-final game. Didn't have to play that quarter-final, which happened, I guess, 3 weeks ago on Saturday by now. Gamed versus Peculiar is the first game that we saw. And then ESC versus nFac, formerly Homeless, is the other quarter-final that we got on that Saturday. I'm trying to get my words out. It's still early. Still got to warm the tongue up. Can't get it around the words. And that gives us Logic versus Peculiar, and of course this first semi-final of the day, nFac versus mTw. They'll then do the 3rd place playoff game, then the grand final, and then it's going to be light outside because it's Sunday morning. I have a feeling about that.
We know how these things go, and it's just I'm already getting flashbacks to November when we were literally going to the World Cyber Games the next morning. We had the longest trip ahead of us to Korea, and we were sat covering EPS with all sorts of issues. But it's going to be a good day, Joe. It's all going to go well. We've had the issues. We've got them out the way early on. I'm not fooling anyone. But Huyu was the champion, actually. You were correct in that. It was the awesome Morgana player. So it looks like he's going to be playing a Nivea in the middle. You can see they've switched up to their correct role. So it's going to be No Equal versus Huyu by the looks of it in that mid lane. And Wu and Red Snow down the bottom versus Zimi and Fami. That's the one. And they were a very strong lane, Zimi and Fami. And it was Sarakabot that's the Twitch, which is why the Twitch ban came out. You can see the bans maybe on your screen now. They're a little different, obviously, because they've just rushed through them. But, yeah, I mean, the Twitch early on, I think he got a double kill very early on. And if anyone's not seen it, the Twitch jungle, it is something to see, like you say. It works out very well. And when obviously, everybody knows if you give Twitch kills early on, it's going to go pear-shaped for you. But honestly, these teams, they are pretty even. I mean, while I said I think nFac have got certainly the stronger team, I think they are. mTw have got some very strong picks there. They've got the Udyr in the jungle. They've got the Shen in the top lane. They've got an Anivia in there. And Misfortune Jan is a strong bottom lane as well. So they have some very strong lanes in there. So it really could go either way. It is best of 3 all day long, I believe, isn't it? I'm not wrong with that thing. So we're going to have a lot of League of Legends today. And some Counter-Strike Source, I believe you're doing as well. Or is it Source?
It was going to be 1.6, but I actually said, no, you know what? I'm just going to do League of Legends all day.
Yeah. I was going to say, your voice would just
have
be
a
dead.
break at some time in between, because otherwise I'm pretty sure if I wouldn't die, then at least my voice would after that one. But I was going to say, in this 3-minute time that we have, which we actually don't have, it was just a 5-second timer delay here today, which makes me all the happier, considering that we could possibly have 12 of those 3-minute delays, which would be kind of break our schedule just that little bit, although my game's not currently loading, which scares me somewhat. But of course, we are going to move into this one. I guess we could talk in between about the new spec mode that Riot have announced, because that's something that's obviously for me and Deman a little bit exciting, maybe more so for Freak as well. I noticed his little joke in there saying maybe I'll catch first blood now.
Yeah.
Not on the first time. He's probably going to have to rewind to get it. But let's give you a rundown of these two teams then. mTw starting on the blue team with Huyu on Anivia, Wu on Misfortune, Red Snow on Janna, Manfi on Udia, and Caress on Shen. And for nFac, Fami on Soraka, Gipfudchen on Olaf, Simi on Graves, Soraka bot on Mondo, and No Equal on Ari. So don't confuse yourselves. We do have Soraka, we do have Soraka bot. And the game jumps 25 seconds in, which scares me a little bit. But luckily, that's not usually enough time for a first blood.
No, I'm going to have to go for a restart as well, so you're going to have to take it away, because mine's decided to load like in the bottom corner. So hopefully I'll fix that. It's one of the bugs. I've seen it before with a tournament client, but it should be all good. But Joe, I mean, what do you who do you think's going to go with this one? I mean, I've put my neck on the line and said nFac very early on. Who are you going with?
Yeah, I fancied nFac, to be honest, before the game. But these picks, the picks of Magic, you could never underestimate how ridiculously important they are in every single game. So, I feel this NTW team very, very strong. It's going to depend how Udia does in the jungle. I mean, if he gets himself out of there quick enough. And basically, Ari is going to be a big focus for them, I think, in this middle. Because, as you said, she's very mobile champion. Anivia, probably the opposite when it comes to mobility, actually. And that's something that they're going to want to fix early on and get that first kill in on towards Anivia. But I fancy NTW for this. And I guess it makes it more interesting when we're both like going for the other teams as well. So early on, we've seen no invade. Both teams starting out very, very cautiously. And, well, I'll just use this opportunity because I see it in chat. A few of you guys talking about 450p plus, the screen goes green. Basically, what you need to do, switch the quality to lower, and then actually switch it back again. If that doesn't work, close your browser completely. It's actually a bug.
And I'm also going to request you switch to colorblind mode, because I can see you haven't got it on. Escape video options, and that's you're done. Colorblind.
I did actually say that I was going to switch to it, and I never did, but now I have. So no one is blind anymore. Everyone can see. Equal opportunities.
Indeed. So let's have a look at the lanes. How are they going to line up? As you can see, it's going to be Shen versus Olaf in the top there. Caress versus what was it? Gipfudchen. I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm going to ruin that name. I'm going to call him Dog Paw. That's what I'm going to, because that's what it means. It means the dog paw. Like, yeah, that's what Stratty told me it was anyway. So let's see a bit. But in the middle lane, it will be No Equal versus Huyu. That is going to be Ari versus Anivia, and it's a pretty good pick actually. It's a pretty even lane, I think, that one. We are seeing Mundo coming around, which is Soraka bot, not to be confused with the Soraka that's in the same team. His name is actually Soraka bot, made famous for the Evelyn long time ago. Soraka bot's just going to come around, try and throw that cleaver at him, try and just put a bit of damage on it. Corporate Mundo throws the briefcase. It's not the cleavers. Mampi, or Mamphi, I guess you could say, is Udia. He's running around in the jungle at the moment for mTw, sitting on the wolves, just finishing off his rotation. And down the bottom lane, it is going to be Wu and Red Snow, which will be Misfortune and Janna versus Zimi and Fami, which will be Graves and Soraka. So, honestly, these are all very even lanes in terms of picks. I mean, there's no great big huge advantage that either team's going to get. We can see that Udia is possibly going to go up towards that top lane. Gipfudchen is, I'm going to ruin that name, very far forward. He is going to get caught out. The exhaust goes down, dives on towards Caress. Will he be able to get away from this one? I think he's juked it very nicely. He just needs to get stunned up. You can see the flash came out from Udia, and now Shen's going to get across. That will be first blood. Very nicely done. So double flash is used up there. Shen just got across, got that taunt on him, and it was enough to get first blood. A very good first blood. But a lot of summoner spells used, but when they get the kills, it all counts.
Yeah, and for me, a little bit far forward there. We saw no ward down whatsoever by Olaf, and he's pushed right up in front of the turret here, okay, getting that harass early on onto Shen as much as he possibly can, but we've seen that can be a real crucial thing for him, and that first blood going over onto Shen, assist with Udia as well, right from the very start of that one. Actually, Udia is pinging up towards middle, still has those double buffs running, just want to keep my eye on the bottom as well while we go. But main push is coming up here towards Ari. That stun is going to come in. Question is, do they have enough damage to actually take her down? And actually going very low. Ignite's going to go in. There is the kill for Huyu. And well, Sarakabot and Mundo coming in just that little bit too late. Didn't really have anything to say about that one. And that will be kill number 2 for mTw, who of course went through the group stage in second position. 18 points they had, so it was a real close thing, the groups. And certainly not a one-sided, well, I guess you could say Logics maybe, since they won every single game in the group. But other than them up at the top, it was a real close thing overall. And look at this, mantw still with that double buff running. This time, Olaf has a ward down, and that should prevent Gibfudson from having any trouble with that gank coming in. Let's have a look at CS down in this bottom lane early on. Misfortune 36 to the 44 of Graves. That will change here pretty soon, though, as that turret is pushed with the minions. mantw now waiting by middle once again. Mundo just above him by the Wraith, but mantw is going to be getting himself home. But that's the early kill that I talked about, with Udyr coming in, getting the stun down. Wasn't quite sure if they got enough damage to finish off Ari, but in the end, with the help of the Ignite, they finished that one, and it's 2-0. 800 gold lead. Still very early doors, though.
Yeah, so Sarakabot making his way up towards the top lane, on towards Shen. You can see Shen is pushed very far forward, and actually only about low on health already. It has been caught out. Good dash there, but it will be exhausted by Sarakabot. Can they do enough damage to him? That's the question. They are going to get the burnout, keep running around him. Surely going to finish him off. Yes, they will, and a good pick up there by Sarakabot. They needed that, obviously, with that first gank on that top lane. It would have put Olaf back a little bit, but he's going to gain a little from that. Could have done with picking up the kill, though. Sarakabot taking the kill would have been ideal for Olaf to pick that one up, and he will immediately go back and buy. We can see Ari had gone back earlier as well, actually. Had got there, obviously got killed, and I say go back, was sent packing, I guess you could say. Picked up those Doran's Blades, just taking out the jungle there as well. There's obviously Sarakabot away. They realised the timer would be down, so making use of it. Really just picking up all the gold possible in keeping the timers on the cooldown. You can see immediately Sarakabot's going to go back towards the Wraith. So no equal, doing as much as he can to farm. He's going to have to go back and buy, because, well, you can see Anivia is coming back, has picked up that Catalyst and a double sight ward. So he's going to be warding off them sides off. You can see he's already got good ward placement down that river. That's going to be cutting off. So, you know, Anivia is going to become a problem. If obviously with the kill early on, has got a good Catalyst early on, probably going to be picking up the blue now, has hit 6 and kept up the CS with Ari, obviously because of that kill. Is really going to cause a problem for them. So immediately, nFac are going to have problems. Obviously, Caress can come in at any time, that egg timer, so it's going to be very hard for them to pick up kills. Udyr's not exactly an easy thing to kill either earlier on. So in terms of kills, they're going to be looking towards trying to kill out Misfortune or Janna. And honestly, mTw have got a very hard team to hit, I think, late game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, especially when you know, the likes of Shen up there getting that first blood earlier on, which is going to add a lot to him. But again, I feel that gank coming in at top, because the ward wasn't in a strong enough position. They've warded actually up the tri-bush. Again, that's coming in, but guess what? They were going to see Mundo walk straight in there, and Shen's going to die again up in this top lane. This time it goes to Sarakabot again, so that's a 2-0-0 Mundo. But Shen had just put his second ward down, Deman, but again in this tri-bush a little bit further over. But it doesn't actually matter, because you don't still have vision there. If we look at the vision, it stops just before, if you hug this left-hand side of the wall as you go up, which is exactly what Mundo's done twice in a row, you can't see him coming in, and they've lost 2 kills from that in this top lane, and I feel that Shen needs to sort that out pretty quickly. He's got another ward, so sorry, Olaf needs to, no, Shen, sorry, needs to sort that out. Does have a ward. Another ward with him. It's early morning. I'll get the names right and all that kind of stuff as we move through the day, so don't worry.
Indeed, but that, like you say, that has worked really well for Olaf now. Obviously, that early gank on him was less than ideal, but now Shen, obviously being taken down, is going to have to sit on that tower a little bit. Obviously, you know, the power of Shen, you can generally escape pretty well, but they've got a lot of damage between them, and that's worked really well for them in their favour. So, no equal picking up the blue buff now. So he's going to be a problem in the middle. Huyu's already got the blue buff as well, so just pushes that lane along. And in terms of farm between these two, it's very even, 68 to 67. Down the bottom lane, 83 to 80. So again, very even, these bottom lanes. So that top lane really is the only telling difference among. And it is Mundo that's picking up the kills, though, not Olaf, which could cause a problem later on. We've just seen Udyr mantw going forward there. Gets caught out there with a slow. Very nicely done. Looking like they're going to set up for Dragon here. Olaf's already down this position. puts a pink ward down, actually clears out that ward, and now they're going to be in a good position to take this dragon. There is one in the back of the pit, so you can see mTw know exactly what's happening, but the whole nFac team is here, and Shen has got his ulti available. Should he need to come down, they're going to try and see if they can steal it away here. A good wall across, they're going to dive in, and mTw's going to get hit very hard. He's going to be able to just about get away. No, turtle stance was not enough. Janna ulti trying to save the day. Hu surely going to get egged up, and remember, he has got a little bit of safety net there. Caress comes in with that ulti. Now they finally get on towards Red Snow. Red Snow does go down, and mTw looking very strong, and Nivea has respawned out of that egg rebirth, I guess you could say. Caress went in. Wow. What was he thinking? The rest of his team were like, no, you're dead, mate, I'm gone. And that was a simple kill. So a 3 for nothing, and nFac take the dragon. You know, you got to go back to that school of thought that CLG sometimes have. If it doesn't look like you're really going to have a chance again in that dragon, just don't go for it.
Yeah, of course you're going to lose out on gold, but is it really worth it to lose those kills in the process? I mean, we were looking at a 2v2 game, now it's back to 5-2 with that dragon going over to faculty anyway. In the process, I mean, the Misfortune ulti went across the pack actually. Because of that wall, it actually held them fairly decently in place, but, well, just not quite enough damage obviously at this level of the game. And that's something that's dangerous for them. I mean, if we look also at the end faculty wards, they have got a lot of vision right now. They've warded up very nicely across the whole map. Again, this top lane, for me, not so secure for Shen. He's going to be coming back into lane. Does have a ward with him, though, so should be getting that down in position, but they can't afford to be letting Mundo get any more. Now, does have the Oracle up, so he will be clearing out these mTw wards as he goes. Let's have a look at the bottom lane, because they are pushing in once again. Wu now up to 100 CS, Graves 100 CS, so very even stuff there. Up at top, Shen starting to get a bit more tanky, got Heart of Gold built up with Doran Shield and Boots. Skip Fudgeon, not too worried though, just comes in, gives him a reckless swing to the face, and then walks out again. He actually went a bit more damage, Olaf, double Doran's Blade, plus that Heart of Gold. Also the Health Crystal is in there now as well. We can see as the wards start to time out exactly who's going to have vision of what, and it's Olaf who's been very, very careful now. A fairly deep ward in the river, plus the one in the tri-bush as well. He's not going to be wanting to get caught out from anyway. Actually, that was just his axe that he threw in there. Tell a lie, he didn't ward it. And mTw, well, they're finding themselves in a little bit of trouble, especially now as they're diving onto Huyu. Is Egg surely still on the cooldown? Yes, it is, and he is going to be taken down. And again, Soraka bot on Mundo, don't get yourselves confused, doing a great job of ganking so far. We've seen, I guess, 3 real main ganks from him, and they've all come in brilliantly. Up at this top lane, 2 easy kills that came in there, and they finished off that one there in the middle as well. But again, it's Mundo that's picked up the kill, Deman.
Yeah, Sarakabot 4-0-2 now on Mundo. And Olaf obviously came out well as well. 2-1-3 came out of that dragon fight. So it's really give a big advantage to his top lane. Shen is literally sitting on the tower the whole time now. And he's even got to be careful, because once he gets these large creep waves coming towards him, he's got to try and get the last hits in, but he's just losing damage on that tower. Look at that. So he's gone for the taunts on him. I'm not too sure he's going to have anything from it. You can see actually that Mundo is thinking about coming round from the tower level. He's going to meet Udyr though. Udyr just around that blue. Actually, they're picking up the blue. This could be perfect timing, because Shen won't be ready for this one. As soon as that big creep wave comes in, they're going to try and go for it. Will Udyr come and help? No, he won't. So he's not going to walk into it. Here you go, coming from the tower. Ulti running. Taunt on. Is it going to be enough? He gets exhausted on the tower. He's taking all the tower hits, but Olaf has plenty of damage, and they will take him down easily. Udyr is going to come back and around there. I'm not too sure he really wants to engage for that one. He's not got the health or the hit points to deal with these two, and they are just going to back away, and that is a 1-4-0 Shen now. He's really been in the wars, from that very much first blood that they picked up. It's just gone south for him very quickly, and that is a 4-0-3 Olaf now. Mundo, and a 3-1-3 Olaf, and Olaf is a beast now. He's become beastly, and of course Mundo now has a big chunk of hit points on him now. He's going to be very hard to stop as the game goes on. Meanwhile, in the middle, Harry's been doing a pretty good job at keeping Anivia true, because you can see the CS difference that obviously Anivia went down, like you say, he got that gank early on, and the egg wasn't back available after it had been taken down earlier on, and it's making the difference. You can see he's got a 20 CS advantage, which is no mean feat at 14 minutes in. Yeah,
especially against Anivia, with that ulti on there, very much auto farming. Actually, mTw inside of the brush here. Needs to be careful, actually. He's going to get away. Gip Fudgeon not knowing that he was there, and he's just going to continue on his farm. which has been real strong. Obviously, Shen having 4 deaths now. That means a 74 to 83. It's not a massive lead in this CS, but 3-1-3 versus 1-4-0. Shen coming back with Giant's belt now. He basically just needs more health to stop that damn reckless swing tearing him to pieces, which is exactly what it's currently doing for him. What's he doing? 340 true damage right now, obviously, to his to Shen, which is not something that you survive very easy if you've not got enough HP. So he's gone straight in for that Giant's belt. Olaf has finished off the Phage now as well. And he's going to continue just to harass him, and that's the thing with Shen. He can keep coming in and out, but he's going to face a couple of problems. Actually, Sarakabot there getting caught clearing the ward out inside the middle. And again, 4-0-3. Giant's belt, Heart of Gold, cloth armor on for him. He's not going to find himself in too much trouble anytime soon. As we hit a slightly quieter part of the game, 60 minutes almost in. I'm assuming that Dragon must be due here in just a few seconds. And I didn't notice, Deman, in the new spec mode, did they have Dragon timers?
No, I didn't spot any fancy timers like that, which we really wanted, but I'm sure it could come along. I'm sure it's something. I don't think. I mean, I've only seen the video once.
Stuff. I'm sure the timers are the easiest of things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's only a case of that's gone down 6 minutes time. Let's go. It's just us. We just don't count. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the bottom lane actually has been causing problems here. Zimmy's slowly been winning out this bottom lane. He's been forcing them away. You can see they've gone back, and it wasn't through choice. It wasn't like they'd pushed the lane. They actually got forced back away from the tower while on the tower, sorry. And they're definitely doing a lot more damage. So Zimmy, you can see now going back, 156 CS. He is still full health, and there you go. Dragon timer now on, as you said. It's all about the feeling, in it, Joe. It's not about knowing when the timer is. We just feel when it's due, and we know. And this is what's known as a free dragon. Any casters that are watching, that's a free dragon. You know, I'm just pointing towards things that have been said before. Anyone that follows these games, you know, if you've just won a big fight, it's not a free dragon. You've fought for that dragon. You've worked for it, and that's a free dragon. That's absolutely uncontested. mTw nowhere near it. Don't even think they had any wards control there. No, they've got no wards within the area, so Mundo's cleared that out. So I'm not sure if I can look. Yeah, you can see if you look on F1 and look at their view, it still shows that the dragon is up on the mTw screen, so they have no idea about that timer right now. So 7-2, big advantage for nFac, despite the fact they went 2-0 down. They really worked their way back into this one, and you've got to give massive credit to Sarakabot. He's been doing a fantastic job. I've still not seen an Oracle on mTw yet. No mTw Oracle, and we are 17 minutes in. That's going to be a problem for them, Joe.
Yeah, obviously thinking, okay, we just buy wards anyway, even though they know that Mundo has had the Oracle up for God knows how long by now. He got that very early on. He's done a great job of clearing out the wards on this bottom side. Top side, he's not done. He's not really been there, to be quite honest, the last couple of minutes. But he's going to walk his way in. Oh, and look at that! The ward actually up at top, just timing out there for Shen. Question is he safe enough on his turret? I don't think he is. I think that they're going to fancy the chances of just diving straight in there. His bottom ward in the river won't have spotted him, and Shen's going to walk into that brush there with Sarakabot ready and waiting. Well, Sarakabot knows that he needed the help of Olaf to actually work that one out, and again, Shen puts the ward down, and Olaf clears it straight out.
Here's 25 gold.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew he got an Oracle on his head. What was the point? That was just a free bit of gold. That's just like a brain fart that happens in tournament play that you just think, oh, kind of quickly, got to ward this. Oh, hang on a minute. I didn't think that through.
Pink thing on top of his head.
Yeah. But the bottom lane again is forced a little bit back this time. Zimmy and Fami are forced to go back. Are they going to go back and buy? No, they're going to stick around and try and handle this one out. It means Fami could certainly top up the health of Zimmy there. So Wu just forcing them back. Wu has been back and almost built up that Infinity Edge. You can see on the bottom of your screens as the item builds go. Fami slowed up a little bit there, and the little fight between the two supports is always an interesting one to watch. So Red Snow using that Zephyr to good advantage. You're going to push the lane a little bit here, Wu. Nobody actually anywhere near. Meanwhile, I can see Shen also being pushed on that top lane. But this bottom lane, are they going to be forced to go back? No, it's just going to top up and keep on fighting. Mid lane,
a load of gold there as well as Graves, almost 2.2k. Yeah, so he's going to go straight into his items. But you know, if he gets caught out here, he's going to be like, well, I was sat on all that gold, and that fight would have been very different if I'd have actually gone home. He's surely going to finish with this creep wave and then get himself home. It's a bad thing to be sitting on so much gold for such a long time. Once this wave is done, the team going back. In middle, we are seeing Sarakabot moving there. Flash used by Huyu to get himself away, and pretty much everything missing there from mFaculty's point of view. Nice defensive flash used, but flash used nonetheless. So someone has been up at top. We are seeing Gip Production again, utilising that reckless swing, getting the axes over onto Caress as often as possible. And he's even managing to avoid those turret hits as he goes. And as I say that, he takes one. But still, you know, great harassment so far from this Olaf up at top.
Yeah, Gimfish is doing a fantastic job. That is the bottom tower going down. We did mention that they'd forced the issue, and obviously Zimid going back to buy, has picked up the Infinity Edge. Now they're going to go for it, put the smoke down, takes a little bit too many hits there. He has got Sarakabot nearby, but he's waiting for the blue buff to be given across, and you can see that Manfi is actually trying to get around there and steal it, but it's not going to happen. No equal was there in time. The pings go down on towards Zimmy there. They're trying to gather for something here, mTw, and they're going to try and invade in towards the Wolves. You can see that Ari is actually up there. They've just spotted them though. Mundo keeps their eye on them, and they are well aware the exact position. Just saying, be careful, no equal. Don't get walking straight out into these. There is 4 in the middle at the moment. Shen, of course, can continue just free farming on that top lane and avoid it and join in. That's the beauty of Shen. He can split farm quite happily for a long period of the game. It's something that we see Hotshot doing all the time, actually, when he plays Shen. In fact, it's just whatever character he's playing, to be honest. It's not just Shen, but it's something that could work very well if the rest of the team is set up for it. And, well, you know what? I think they may be. So maybe in mTw's future plans here. But, of course, he's been harassed so heavily early on at 140. He has got that Sunfire Cape rebuilt now, Shen. So let's see how he goes about it. It's going to cause problems maybe later on in the game, but as it is, Gipfochen is, like you say, very, very strong. What's he up to now? Reckless Strain. 340 still, actually. He hasn't built anything since then, so he's actually, tell a lie, he's gone all defensive. So he's got the Aegis Legion being the ultimate team player. Now it's looking like a 4-man gather, 5-man actually, going to be going straight up the mid, Joe.
Yeah, and who you going to have enough there to stop this one if they dive onto him. Actually, that's a nice wall. That's going to mean a couple more tower hits, but guess what? That's pretty much all. Actually, the rest of the team are here, so maybe Hugh will survive this one. Jana ulti will go off Soraka, but what did have the Mundo ulti running as well, but it's not enough. Look at Red Snow shielding up. A clutch shield there will keep him alive. And Huyu finally goes down. They're chasing him now onto Ari. I can't believe that Jana survived that one. She shielded up at the perfect time. Caress was super low as well. And that's a 2-for-1 in favor of mTw, and they couldn't really have done any better there. That wall obviously caused all kinds of problems for Mundo, and then the rest of the team were there like a flash. They were already coming up this middle to support that one. So hats off, credit where credit's due to mTw there. That was a strong bit of performance under their own tower though. And then Faculty maybe showing signs of becoming a little bit too greedy there, a little bit complacent. I mean, that's, I guess, technically with Olaf and Mundo and Ari there, it's not a bad dive whatsoever against one. But still, when you factor in the fact that the rest of the team were just behind them, it's not cool. So mFaculty looking like they're going to get themselves a dragon without any kind of contest whatsoever. Yep, they will take that dragon once again. And that is more of a gold lead for them. It's still only around about 4k though, so not really that big of a lead. But again, we see that mTw being forced to defend this middle turret, and obviously the ultimate of Anivia now just completely clearing out those minions without any kind of problem. Up at top, Gipfuction going to join a big wave of minions. And will Shen be able to force him away from this one? Obviously, as Deman mentioned, Sunfire Cape is now running. And that's going to give him that little bit extra power when he's clearing out these minion waves as well. With that AoE damage. And Gipfuction actually heading back for his golem. So let's have a look at the CS and how it stands right now. In the middle, Ari 220 to the 185, so still in the lead with that one. A great job done by Ari so far, although, you know, not really got those kills in there and whatever. Farm has been really strong. Abyssal Scepter and Needlessly Large Rod already finished on her. In the top lane, 153 to 154, so Shen bringing that right back even. We can see a 3-man push coming up middle as well that we need to keep our eyes on. Down in the bottom, the 280 carries Misfortune 240 and 101 in kills to 217 and 103. So nicely ahead there as well is Misfortune, and this is something, you know, as you said, Deman, maybe that's the long-term goal, if you like, of mTw to keep this farm up. They need to be catching up in middle, though, I feel, a little bit, because this Ari, although the kills aren't really there, he's got good farm, and the items are starting to get very strong as well.
Yeah, and going back to that fight way back at the tower, of course, they took Sarakabot down, who had the Oracle, so it was a really big kill, so it was effectively a 3-for-1 as well. And he hasn't actually rebought that Oracle either, so he's just left it at the moment. So no Oracles at all on either team at the moment. Just keeping my eye on Sarakabot in the middle there. They're going to come round the side. No, they're not going to go for them. I'm not sure whether mTw are either going to push this one. They're going to try and push a take and see. Olaf actually making his way down river. Warded up straight away, though, so that's going to immediately wear him off. And Shen actually continuing to push, which is the big advantage mTw will have. He can just continue farming that top lane. And it's actually keeping Olaf out of it at the moment. Fortune is having to stay in that top lane, which is effectively causing it a 4-on-4, which is a problem because Olaf was one that obviously got a little bit fed early on. Would have caused a lot of damage. 0-1-5 still on Ari, so he hasn't been able to build up those mega items just yet, whereas you can see Sarakabot trying his best to get in there. But again, he's walking straight through that ward. They know exactly where he is. Ooh, trying to catch on towards Redstone there. Redstone just about dodging away from it. And actually, Fami using a little bit of farm there, stealing away so quickly with his Star Call. Have a look at towards the top. You can see these two. I mean, Fortune, as soon as he starts heading south, they know he's coming. And I think they're actually going to have to give up on this middle turret if they keep. They've all backed away to try and get this blue buff. Could it be enough that mTw try and get in to steal it? No. nFac again get back just in time to cover it off. Zimmy's having to farm up like a pro now. And the AD carries could be the big telling difference between these two. Misfortune, you can see 262, like you say, he's got that Infinity Edge. Phantom Dancer on the way. Similar for Zimmy, but I feel that Graves offers more than Misfortune when it comes to late game. He can dash in there, his ulti's pretty good as well. Obviously, unless Misfortune manages to hit that full ulti across, no equal taking a burst in the face from Hu. Didn't exactly do a massive amount of damage though, because he has got a bit of magic resist on that from that Abyssal Scepter on there, and the Merc Threads that he's picked up as well. So, honestly, I don't know how this is going to turn out when we finally see a big 5v5 team fight, because we haven't really managed to come across one yet. And again, like I say, you can see that Olaf working his way back towards the middle. Shen continues to farm, and I think he may push that tower down up top.
Yeah, and that's, like you said, that is just Shen all over the place, and that's why we see Shen so often banned. But in this one, kept in there. Misfortune ulti used a little bit early for me for clearing out that minion wave, and that's going to give this middle turret back. And now that all came about because Huyu's had to go back there. And the nFac said, okay, well, we can push this one now. We're 5 versus 3. And they may even catch in onto mTw as they try and steal this red buff away. mTw, he had a bit of a peek out there.
He got it.
And, oh, he did steal it. Yeah, right, I say steal it. Obviously took it since it was his red buff with his smite there. So nicely done by mTw. I'll say thanks very much, nFac, for helping me out there with my red. Well, as we said, Shen pushing, has taken that top turret down now. Wu going back into his lane to continue this farm, which he is ahead with, but we are seeing the push down middle as well. Wall used there just to protect Udyr. Not really the minion stack that nFac need to push this middle lane. Sarakabot just waiting in the wings there. Possibly going to come around the side, but no. They are going to be all headed back. So, a real interesting tight game. I mean, 8-4. It's not quite 2,000 gold now either. So, you know, it's still one of those games that can go either way. And I think for mTw, the longer that this goes on without a big team fight, the better.
Yeah, and the ping from mTw on towards that middle tower. They're saying, come on, let's push it quick. See Red Snow is going to be howling, gaining up those minions. It's mTw and Hu coming in. They're going to try and push this one down quick. They know that the rest of nFac went back. They're going to try and steal away this tower. Not too sure whether they're going to be quite quick enough. No, they're not. Because Misfortune had gone back to buy. He had got 1,800 gold on him. So had to go back to buy. Completed that Phantom Dancer and picked a big pickaxe as well, though. So going to be doing a lot of damage. And similar build to Graves as well, of course. Extra pickaxe. I'm not too sure what he's going to build in towards with that one. You can see, meanwhile, the large rod had been picked up by Nivea. Rapidon's death cap now completed by Ari as well. Dragon, again, this is the 4th Dragon now that nFac are going to pick up, and this is for free again. Absolutely uncontested, no one anywhere near it. mTw seem to suddenly realise, and I think they've just gone, yeah, okay, I think that's the Dragon, they've just gone. And the ping goes down. This time Gipfuchin has picked up the Oracle again, so he's going to start clearing out the wards. And again, still no Oracle. No Oracle at all for mTw. We're 29 minutes into this game, and there's been 0 Oracles for mTw so far, which does surprise me a little bit here. Looking like they're going to start trying to set up for Baron now, Joe. Looks like the ward placement's starting to go out. Definitely looking like a setup. They can see Shen there, and he's going to back off. And actually, Gipfuchin with the Oracle it is, rather, sorry, not Sarakabot. So Olaf feeling he's a bit flush in the gold. Had got that frozen mallet built up early on as well that he's converted into. So wisely so. And yeah, definitely gathering up for the Baron. I'm not too sure where they're going to go for it. I think it's going to be more a case of baiting in and peeling off for this one now, Joe.
Yeah, they're trying to pull him in here. There is a fairly forward ward here, this blue ward. Oh, Fami just getting caught by the wall. Did get away before any real problems came of it, though. And there is that ward taken out. Gipfuchin going to see the other one coming in as well. That will be stripped straight out. And that's another bit of gold loss. Let's quickly press F1 and see what vision they've got. They've got no vision whatsoever of this Baron at all. So that could be a little bit of a problem going in for them. Ward goes down again by Anivia, but still no vision of Baron. Ari's just pushed this mid lane out, so they are going to be starting off this Baron now. The question is, how are mTw going to react to this one? And they can see that they're coming in there. Nice positioning of the smoke screen down on the ramp. That means they're basically walking into seeing nothing. Now we are going to see the big fight kick off. Misfortune ulti goes across, but is it enough? Janna ulti used actually there. Feel was a fairly strong one. It's going to mean a dead Gipfuchin. Where's the focus coming in? They're doing, for me, far too much damage. Why are they focusing on Shen? Why is Shen so low in this fight? And why are they not focusing on Nivea? Finally they do that. Red Snow goes down, and they're now going to chase after Caress. No equal. Should have him pinned in here. Charm will land as well, and there is the ace, and that should mean that they have themselves a Baron. It looks like they're actually going to push this middle lane as far as they possibly can. They've got still 25 seconds for Misfortune to come up there, and one can assume that they'll have this at least this turret before headed off back towards that Baron. Ari, Soraka, Mundo already headed off. Zimi's going to tank the turret and take down that that second middle turret in favor of nFac. Now they've got literally 3 seconds from Misfortune spawns, which means by the time she's got herself anywhere near this dragon, this Baron will have already been taken by nFac. And well, they're looking very, very strong now, Deman, especially since that fight was all about Graves getting themselves into a bit of a god mode at 5-0-4 now. Indeed, and they caught, I mean, they stood, then they had them pinned effectively all around them bushes. You know, they were in perfect position, really. And yes, the focus was a little bit off, but honestly, they had it fully in control. They managed to sort of hit them in a sort of AE style, despite the fact they haven't really got any AE. And Gipfuchin was the one that was targeted, obviously focused by mTw. They did take him down pretty quickly, which is good for them, but then immediately everybody was sort of stuck in position and suddenly couldn't really do anything about it. And obviously no equal is just sort of like spamming away, hitting everything there. So Rakabot was just beating down on anything he could get near. Fami was star calling away, lowering all the magic resist, and just setting it up nicely for Ari. So problem really is going to be a problem for mTw, like you say, that now with the Baron on, it's effectively, I think it's like 8k a person it works out as. The amount of bonuses it gives you, it's like effectively giving the other team massive amounts of items. So it's the question is whether they're going to use it. I think they will. I don't think there's going to be any problems with that. You can see Bloodthirster, like you say, has been onto Graves. Now God mode is certainly turned on. Obviously Void Staff as well picked up by Ari. So Ari, despite the fact he's only got 118, they're trying to pin out Shen here. Shen's sort of like trying to teleport back. They're like, he's back there somewhere. Can we find him? I want to give up on that. No equal, trying to get the Charmer towards Red Snow. Red Snow's got to be careful. He's got that Oracle on. Really the only Oracle I've seen so far in the game, which is pretty tragic at 30 minutes in for mTw. Definitely something they need to think about. They were trying to push them lanes out. You can see the map is a long way away as well, trying to teleport back. Top turret looks like it's going to be the next target. Yeah, they're going to rotate straight across. Ward goes down. Red Snow thought about taking it out. Is it just going to be bait? No equals there. Puts the charm across. Does land it. Beautiful. What a great bait with an Oracle there. Very nicely done. And that was just, I mean, that was obvious, really. Surely he must have knew it was coming. Misfortune ulti trying to get across. Misfortune will get, no, just about. I think the strut saving him there, just keeping away from that slowdown. And that will be another easy turret. The inner turret's going down. So all but the bottom lane has been completely annihilated. And I think they may even be able to pick up this base turret here. They realise that there's no support, there's no Janna to blast them out, and they will take that turret down very quickly. Mamphy needs to be careful he doesn't get caught out. Will get slow, but they're just going to back away.
and let them have the inhibitor. And as you mentioned, it is 14-5, very big advantage, 9k gold, and a very, very strong end faculty.
Yeah, and one thing that's a real shame for me, you know, if you look back to that last Baron fight, the misfortune, her items are actually pretty decent if she stays, you know, auto-attacking, basically, in the fight. But her ultimate takes so much time to channel and does basically no damage to them whatsoever. I feel like it's almost a waste of time.
Better off basic attacking.
Yeah, honestly, the amount of auto attacks you can get in there with a Phantom Dancer, obviously that Infinity Edge, Last Whisper's finish there as well, compared to what she puts out with the ulti in terms of damage, I think it's better just to auto attack, to be honest. I mean, she's critting for like 800 on her auto attacks, and bullet time does what, 125 plus 68, but yeah, nothing basically.
Yeah, that's been one of the arguments of Misfortune and why he's faded away, or she's faded away as one of the big AD carries. And it's interesting we don't see Corki in this one. It's obviously one of the big things that a lot of American teams use up, Corki, Cogmore, etc. But he chose to go for Misfortune. They were all Cogmore wasn't available actually. He was taken. Actually, no, Corki was banned as well. So I'm just going to shut the hell up because they were both banned out. But what else could he gone for? Ashe. Ashe was available, wasn't she? Even yeah. She has a more useful ulti because it can be a great initiate. That's going to be the mid turret for mTw though. Taking anything they can really from this one. And the ping's gone down the bottom lane, saying, yeah, there is a big pack going down there. You can see that Misfortune's going to try and take that out as quick as possible. Baron has around about no time left on it. It's about to go any second now. So there we go. That will run out. So back to nFac to see really what they're going to do with this complete map domination they have.
Yeah, they've really pushed this top and middle nicely. Obviously, inhibitor's still up in the middle, but bottom lane is intact. In fact, this turret is fairly high HP. I think it'd be pretty obvious from mTw's point of view that nFac may just be headed down towards this bottom area to finish off. Oracle is once again with Sarakabot on Mundo, and they are slowly but surely working their way down in towards this bottom lane. As Gibfudgeon throws out an axe and puts on his W for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And they are going to push straight in here. mTw don't even need to think about trying to defend this outer turret. As, we did see Sarakabot just zoning him out, and you know that this Mundo's strong when he just stands in the way of 5 people and then they all run away from him because they're scared of that Mundo. And here we go then. Minions obliterated with the Q off Ari, and they are going to push in. Chong going to land in onto Malfi, and they put a decent amount of damage in onto the Udyr. They're knocking down to about half HP. Probably kept alive by that wall from Anivia. Just going to pin him in, and these charms are so dangerous. And look at the Q damage as well onto Huyu. It's the charms that they really need to be careful of, because if they hit a good charm, I think nFac are going to dive straight in on top of it. And there we go, Misfortune ulti. We'll clear out a few minions, do a little bit of damage to the nFac guys.
Sarakabot coming in,
but not a lot. And Sarakabot is fancying his chances from behind. He wants to get in there. It's more of getting those cleavers in the backside of them and just forcing them to back away from this turret, and he's done a great job of it as well. They will all go back there. Minions were coming in as well, and now nFac is slowly but surely working their way over towards the next. Actually, up on the top lane, there's 3 super minions now hitting away on these Nexus turrets, and I'm not sure that they're going to kill them before this turret goes down, you know. There we go. They'll switch focus. Actually, no, they're not. They're hammering away there. Minions finally coming. One more hit, and it will be taken down by the super minions. So all that time they've spent looking down on this bottom turret means that they lose their first Nexus turret of the game. And, well, if it's not nFac pushing, they're super minions doing the job.
Yeah, and nFac have all gone back now. They know the time is due on Baron. They've had the Baron buff wear out, and that was a good 2-minute push, I think, down that bottom lane, so it is due any second now. So Sarakabot is lingering there, so they'd all gone back, all spend that gold. You can see they're all stacked up with the items. Expect to see some glistening? Yes, they can. There we go. You can see that agility and health pots on Zimmy there. And I see the health, it's obviously the fortitude pot, which is effectively health pot. Or actually, what's it called at the moment? It's some weird thing. It's a might shroom. That's it. There we go, of course. That makes all the sense. We do appreciate it.
It's changed back on live now.
Yeah, exactly. It's but unfortunately we're not on live. So that is going to be a very easy Baron. And Didn't even need Ari. Ari just kept them occupied. They see the Baron buff on Ari, and Ari's like, yeah, I'm forcing them back, 5-on-1. But they know the rest of the team is there. And, well, no equal. You can see he's up to 642 ability power. So, like you say, Charm lands, you're pretty much dead coming out of it. You're not going to survive. And who you need to be very careful there. Could have easily got caught on him. They are going to push on towards this open inhibitor and easily take that one down. mTw not going to be able to contest that one. They will try and fight for this tower, I feel. And Joe, I think this could be the last battle.
This could be the last battle. mTw not really having that much of a chance. I mean, you'd probably say that okay, let's fight on the Nexus turrets, but guess what? They've only got one of them left as well. You see that damage coming in there. Mundo actually catching onto the minions, but once those minions are gone, this poke that we've got from the Graves buckshot, from the axe of Olaf, from the briefcase cleaver of Mundo, and you can see they just walk straight in there, tank the turret up, not really too worried about doing that. And this next round, it is going to go down very, very quickly. Oh, they managed to hit the cleaver again onto Shen, but they're more concerned, of course, with that inhibitor going to go down. Now onto the bottom, Caress has been hit there with the charm, and we are going to see this fight kicking off as they try to move in. That ultimate placing from Anivia is decent, but he's got Olaf and Mundo sticking to him. Janna actually using the ulti there to try and force him away from killing this egg, but it's not going to be enough. Now they're focusing on Miss Fortune, who's just exploded. Oh no, she actually flashed away, but either way, it doesn't matter whatsoever that she stayed alive from that one. That will be 3 kills for 0. This Nexus is going to be focused down, and nFac are going to be picking up the first game of the day here in the BenQ finals. Of course, the German EPS finals for this season. Actually, the 20th season of the German EPS it is this year. So good job to all the guys that have made that one happen, and to nFac who've just picked up this first game. It is best of 3, and it will be best of 3 all day and night long. This is the first semi-final nFac mTw. Then we'll be moving on later to Logics versus go on there in my head, Peculiar Gaming. They're the ones I'm looking for. Let's have a quick look though at the post-game screen and see exactly who did what in there. So nFac no equal on Ari, 2-1-11. For me, did a great job in the lane phase team, and pretty much out farming that Anivia the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a phenomenal lane. And really, it's all about those kills on that top as well. I mean, they put Shen out the game early on, despite the fact Olaf got ganked early. I think he was first blood as well. And then obviously they got their gank on Ari in mid. So it started off very well for mTw, but then I think it went 7 or 8-2. So they just didn't get anything out of it. And it was all down to Soraka on Mundo doing such a fantastic job, pairing up very nicely with Gipfochen up that top there. And honestly, the bottom lane was just left to farm, wasn't it? I don't think either of them really had any gank attempts. They just farmed up quite happily between the two. And it just turned out that, you know, Graves is a better farmer late game, better late game champion than Miss Fortune sort of turned out to be. Miss Fortune did have the damage in there, but like you're saying, that ulti doesn't really help out, not half as much as many of the other ultis that are available for the AD carries. But honestly, yeah, Ari did a fantastic job. Built up to what, nearly 700 AP towards the end there. So really doing a great job controlling that mid lane, and was definitely the difference. But it is a best of 3, Joe. So anything can happen.
It is indeed a best of 3, and we're going to be moving here on to game number 2 between nFac and mTw in just a minute or two. So guys, don't go anywhere.